Well, here's the main beam extrusion for the neck jig. I've got it sitting on my milling machine bed. I have to mill a slot in it part way down through here to cut through the end of it, and that will allow this neck support rod to go down further to give me more height when I adjust it up. And so we'll be cutting through this down into this area so it can go all the way down to there. So that's what we're getting ready to set up in the milling machine for now. Only got to do about from 2 inches from one end down about halfway. Should be all I need to do. Alright, I've got it sitting in there just loose right now. And before we tighten it down, we'll try to get lined up as best as we can with the dial indicator. Alright, we got the dial indicator on there, and I've got it pushed back all the way where the tops are hitting and the teeth nuts are hitting in the slots. So I'm going to go ahead and snug everything up. Okay, everything's snugged up. We got tension on the dial indicator. So let me try to get that needle up to the top. And we'll set that at 0. And if you can see that or not. And we'll move the carriage back and forth and see what it does. We're kind of in the center there. About as far as I can go that way. It looks like about 4-5 thousandths. Let's try the other way. It's about as far as we can go there. It's only about a 1,000th that away. So let me try to tweak it, and then we'll come back and look at it. Well, did some adjusting, and now we're about 3.5 thousandths out the other way. Actually about 4.5 thousandths. So let me do some more tweaking. Well, about the closest I can get it is about 3 thousandths. So I think I'm going to have to live with that. Bad thing is I got to reposition that thing after I make one cut, because my travel's not long enough to do it all at once. So we'll just have to see how it does. About 3.5 thousandths. Well, I've got it set up with the 5/16 milling bit, end mill, and the slot's just a hair wider, about 16 thousandths wider than the 5/16, but too tight for the 3/8. So I think what I'm going to do is cut the slot with the 5/16 while I got it in there, and then come back with the 3/8. That way, when I'm trimming the sides off of this, I don't have to be cutting through the other at the same time. So let's give it a shot and see what's going to happen. Well, let's see how we're progressing here. We're almost through the first layer there. You can see we're starting to break through on the sides there. So we'll keep on cutting because we got 2 layers to go through. We're about to break through that top layer there, and then we got to go down and go through this layer. And then I think I may switch to the 3/8 bit and finish that in before I reposition to get this in. But it's working pretty good. In fact, I think I'm going to write a little short program to run that thing back and forth so I don't have to do it manually. I think that's what I'll do. Well, we made it through the first layer. Starting on down into the second layer. Well, we finally broke through the center with the 5/16 bit. The top half, about halfway down, is already to width, which is about 3/8 plus. I don't think you can see that. But so I've got 3/8 halfway down across the width of it, which is just right. And then the rest of the way is just 5/16. So what I'm going to do is change bits and put the 3/8 bit in there because this 5/16 here is set back from the shoulder, from the shank, so I can't go any deeper. So I'm going to use the 3/8 bit to go deeper and go back and forth with it, and then I've got to go a couple thousandths on each side to give it a little clearance there, and then this section will be done. We'll move on to the next section right in here. In fact, I think I got to do 2 more sections. I don't have enough length on my travel, so we'll be doing 2 more sections. It takes a while, but we're getting there. Okay, I've got the slot finished cutting with the 3/8 bit all the way through to the center. Get a view from the end. I don't know if you can see the daylight coming through the slot or not, but getting ready to reposition, and got the 5/16 bit back in, and getting ready to loosen these bolts on these blocks and slide it down, get it lined up again, and then we'll excuse me, continue on. This is the second position with the 5/16 bit. We're almost through the first layer there. Well, we got through with the 5/16 bit. Now we're going down deeper with the 3/8 bit on the second setup. So we'll plunge on through. Well, we're through the second layer on the second setup, so we just have to move over on each side about a couple thousandths just to give it a little bit of clearance, and then we can move on to the third position. So here we are set up for the third setup with 5/16 bit. Just finished the third section of the with the 3/8 bit all the way through. I'm actually lacking about 3 inches of 3 or 4 inches of what I really wanted, so I may go ahead and do that last 3 or 4 inches, and then we'll be done. Looks like we just broke through on the 3/8 on this last little section here, so I think we're done slotting.